He would exhort our listeners to not be one of the inert 90, but be one of the generous 10% of listeners to KCCK and join our weird dysfunctional jazz family. And so we gather today in tribute to our friend Mark Yother and encourage you to do that very thing that Mark himself did. And the other thing I should tell you about Mark is that when the pledge drive was really slow and we were all just, oh my God, nobody's ever going to pledge ever again, I would walk past the front desk and there would be a check that Mark just quietly wrote and sat on the desk. As I said, he would gripe about the fund drive, but then nobody would work harder to make it a success.
Time to filibuster. Here we go.
That's right. At the time that Mark passed away, we wanted to do something special and something memorable that would and something associated with some aspect of the station. And one thing that Mark always did was he knew where to find the interesting things in our music library better than anybody else. Of course, in his daily show and with his Got a Minute show, he had this kind of little collection of old-timey jazz and funky vocal groups like the Bobs, novelty tunes that he would use as kind of a little zinger to go at the end of all his commentary. I know that Larry was very, very appreciative of everybody who made the gifts, and he and his wife Gail had a wonderful time hearing all the stories that we shared about Mark at his memorial. When he passed, we took donations, and all of you were a part of that, which we really appreciate, with the idea of dedicating our music library to Mark, so that in the future when people came by, they would see the plaque and they would maybe share a memory or a story or hear a news story from one of us about Mark. So it's my pleasure to unveil the plaque right now. You can see our very classy. Yes.
Be able to take the paint off.
I just hope to God that I don't pull any paint off.
Yeah.
It says Mark Yother, KCCK producer, writer, reviewer, musician, 1941 to 2016. The KCCK Music Library is dedicated to Mark Yother in recognition of his many years of service to KCCK, Kirkwood, and the Cedar Rapids community. And we had the choice of several different pictures of Mark, and we had some of his posed shots, that we would use, for publications and things like that. And I actually had a very nice, kind of businessy shot of him. But when we talked about what we wanted to put on there, we should know we want a shot. We want him wearing that KCCK hat, talking in the microphone, and jazzing to the stars.
It's interesting. He would put little Post-it notes on some of the CDs. Like, well, this one is really wiggy or something. It's like you don't play this one. It's and those little Post-it notes are still in there. You'll pull out a CD every once in a while. Oh, there's Mark's little Post-it note there. We just leave them in there and
keep them. Yeah.
Put them back.
We'll play that one.
Yeah. Play it in Mark's honor. So.